afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the picks and bans phase of your European Challenger Cup Finals. This is week number 5, and for the 5th week in a row, we have the marquee matchup, Agilitas versus Potato Boys. And as we mentioned, the first pick for Potato Boys, usually that ROM for Suntouch, banned out first. I love this.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, Agilitas just throwing a tuber in the works at Potato Boys, but Aphrodite banned away. That, I would say, is on the same page as the ROM ban if it wasn't basically mandatory to ban against Confrey, because he will kill you and everything you love if you give him Aphrodite.
It's a little bit of, like you said, towards Confrey, but Potato Boys have banned Aphrodite, I think, 100% of the time. It's just a god that they don't do well against, they don't fare well against it, they don't want to deal with it, and so they actually just ban it out. Choose to ban the global presence of Athena as well. We know that Dirgius doesn't really need Athena to play, and Mercury, first pick. No surprise there.
So this is a manicured pick and ban phase coming out from the Potato Boys. This is specifically manipulated, because here's the thing. Agilitas has to pick Mercury.
Yes. Because
you cannot give Mercury to Adapting. And that Mercury pick secures Adapting's Thor. It's not going to be banned out. They don't have space to ban it. Proxy's Nuwa is too good. They've already banned the ROM. So that's going to go through. Thor and Odin will be locked in for Potato Boys. They were thinking about the Freya, and I wouldn't have minded that either, because it's something that Ataraxia plays well.
Right.
But the question of where is Agilitas going to put this Mercury? Right now, it is a flex pick for them. It is something that we have seen Ataraxia play, and play well. It's something that Rapikas can play also. We're going to see another Thor from Adapting. I think it is ban-worthy, but I respect the Rama ban, and I respect the Nuwa ban. It's half harassment and half Proxy's really good at this character.
Exactly.
And that's a Scylla pick. That is a very early Scylla pick.
It is one of the better choices that Agilitas could do. Scylla had, when it comes to just being a general mage, when it comes to burst, good choice. Odin, Kret. Odin.
But
gotta respect the Odin.
I mean, yes, but so early? I think I have to think the reason they're picking it this early is because they want to maintain ambiguity, and Scylla will do that. Now the Mercury is going to be 80 carry. That's confirmed, because Repikas is a killer nemesis. I mean, honestly, I think Repikas's nemesis is on par with Adapting's Thor, and Adapting's Thor. If you put Adapting on Thor into the Pro League, I think he'd be one of the better junglers in the Pro League. Like, I think he's actually that good. And what we saw last game was definitely at that level. It was...
Yeah, I mean, Adapting comes from the same team that Dirgius used to call home, i5. i5 vied for a spot in the SPL, didn't quite make it there, but Adapting, when he joined the crew of i5, Raffer left to go join the boys on what is now Mortality. When Adapting joined i5, that was one of their big hopes, Kret. Adapting really came out of nowhere, at least to this caster, like just a ranked player, and decided that he wanted to be extremely incredible when it comes to competitive. Bakasura is going to round out the picks for Potato Boys. That will be a solo Bakasura, if I have my guess. Proxy looking to play a little more unconventional. Proxy likes the aggressive picks more than the defensive picks, so I would like to see this in the solo lane for sure.
I agree. I think there's really good synergy because Baka has a cripple, which will supplement the Odin. So it might be Odin support. That's actually one of Dirgius's really original characters.
Yep.
You know, it was sort of like Odin, then Geb, then Kumba. But we'll see what ends up happening. The Freya locked in. I want to say that's going to go to Suntouch, because Suntouch has always played Freya.
Yeah.
I feel like he even played Freya when he was a mid laner. He just always has played Freya.
Did Suntouch ever play Freya support?
No, but I bet he thought about it. And honestly, I wouldn't be. You know what, Lydia, are you here? Have Suntouch cosplay Freya at the next LAN. Just make it happen.
He might actually do that. Please don't make that happen. Agilitas.
Lydia, you know what to do. Lydia, I'm trusting you.
I'm gonna stop this one. Curious. Agilitas banned out Vulcan.
Yeah.
That's Pretty Prime's character, but they saw what Arrow could do, and they don't want to give it the chance. I like this, because as I said, Pretty Prime is known as one of the best Vulcans. People like to talk about Gnaw, but Pretty Prime has actually come out and shown what he can do. So gotta watch out for that. Chooses to ban it against himself because Arrow is that scary. I think that is an incredible nod to Arrow, and he needs to feel very, very good about that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. The other thing to mention is just that Arrow has transitioned from, he didn't pick Agni, and he could have, and he used to be Agni 24/7 all the time and played it very well. I mean, totally understandable, but now playing other stuff, where you see Isis in the mid lane from the Potato Boys, and I'm always excited for some Isis. I do not trust in any of the Isis play we have seen in the past few months. I don't think anyone is quite there yet. There are some people who are close, but Isis takes a lot of skill in a lot of different ways. Incredibly hard character. Ares, once again, for Kanye Life. Habois for Confrey. And I love this Ares pick. I think it can do a lot to stop the disengage from Potato Boys and the chase from Proxy and that Bakasura. It can nip the Bird Bomb in the bud. And so if Kanye is hitting his chains, as he did earlier today,
yep,
he could be instrumental for Agilitas.
Ares will also do a number on Thor, adapting in the last game. If you guys paid attention to some of the smaller things, Thor from adapting would routinely go in, Berserker, and then hammer out. Not really try to finish the kills because he knew that his team could. Gonna be not able to do some of those disengage tricks that we saw last match. So Agilitas is gonna take Ares and Nemesis and Scylla up against some of the big boys on the potato side of things. Stay tuned for the first game of your European Challenger Cup Finals, Week 5. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Game 1 of our Challenger Cup Finals. This is Week 5, and for the 5th week in a row, we have Agilitas and Potato Boys facing off right here in the shadow of Anubis. Agilitas will be played by Ataraxia in the long lane. He'll be supported by Kanye Life on that Ares. Pretty Prime going in the middle lane on Scylla, and Confrey in the soul lane, completing the Mage Rage with Habois. Watch out for some of those mechanics, and Replicas in the jungle on Nemesis.
On the other side is going to be the Potato Boys in the soul lane. Proxy QQ playing Bakasura. Arrow in your middle lane as Isis with adapting in the jungle as Thor, Suntouch on Freya, and Dirgius on your support Odin.
Very
Potato Boys.
No. Isis should be interesting here. I like the Isis pick a lot, especially because with Odin is going to be a little bit thinner than most supports, correct? Even with that ring, basically what you're getting at as supports is utility or tankiness. When you go Ymir, you find a lot of tankiness. When you go Sun Wukong, you find utility, and that's really what you're looking for. Yeah, Sun Wukong's damage, whatever. You find more utility. With Odin, you're going to have a lot of utility with that ring. Really secure objectives, kind of can peel as well now that teammates can walk through the spears. It's a great utility, but you're not exactly as thick as some of the other supports. The Isis will provide some damage reduction and make it all balance out. I really, really, really love this choice.
Just to add a little bit of color, think about Ullr and how easy it is to kill an Ullr, right? The difference between Odin's base stats and Ullr's base stats is 3 physical protection. And that's it. They are exactly the same in every other way. Odin is actually not tanky. He needs to rely on his shield to stay alive or use it aggressively in the bird bomb, but either way he wants to be ahead, and that's a nice little lunge on an Ataraxia. That's really just unfortunate for our Mercury player there, but sort of some incidental outplay on the right-hand side. It looks like the Potato Boys were forced around the back, and it's a little strange how that ended up happening. Did you manage to catch why they ended up coming up the lane?
Basically, Proxy went ahead and he invaded blue, which meant that the Potato Boys had to take the safe way around, so they wanted to go the long way, and it's working out for them. 3-3 versus 2-2 on the red team. So Potato Boys already going to go start moving, adapting, heading towards the back safe camps. Replicas sniffing them out. Proxy communicates that, and adapting coming right back to lane. Love this Deke. Love this Deke.
Oh no. Oh, Confrey could be in so much trouble. That's going to be the Berserk Barrage getting under tower. He'll be fine. Oh, wait, no, the dive. And actually, Proxy's going to get the first blood, able to jump out. Just able to set foot in tower, reset slightly, and that's a really nice mechanical first blood going over to the Potato Boys. It's going to be a big advantage, too. I mean, look at the gold difference. That's 761 in favor of the Potato Boys. That basically is the early game.
That was a beautiful outsmart play coming out from Proxy or adapting. He went and made sure that it was communicated that he left lane, made sure that Fog of War obscured him just enough to make it around the bush. Replicas saw him not at back camps, assumed he went to the left side of the map, and before he realized that he was behind his Habois, it was already over.
The other thing to mention here is mathematically, Agilitas is in the wild card. They cannot not get there. Oh, in the middle, and Pretty Prime absolutely destroyed, and actually able to get out just barely. Great Sikkim, and I think Adapting just assumed he had that kill. Pretty Prime is able to survive with a very tiny amount of health, like 10. Wow.
Basic attack or one hit from the hammer would have claimed it. Proxy gonna keep killing this Habois, which this is a downward spiral. Some commentators.
And now Kanye on the left-hand side, Spirit Ball connects, gets the kill. 3-0. Potato Boys are now up 1,400 gold, 2,000 experience. They're looking to snowball this game. They're looking to end this by the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, Proxy's playing this Bakasura. Proxy's an aggressive player. Bakasura functions well when he's aggressive. Some analysts, most notably DM Brandon, have gone on record saying that Bakasura could be one of the best solo laners in the game, and
I think he is right now.
Right now, it's certainly looking like it. Just the ability to do that much tower damage in 3 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, Proxy's playing this very well. But to the point I was making earlier, at this point, Agilitas is basically just playing for seed points. They are guaranteed to go to the wild card. So what happens here is they want to keep their first seed because that basically ensures they're going up against Coast, which is probably going to be the easier match of the two, and they're playing for money. But they sort of have a less of a need to win overall. Adapting, going up in the air on the right-hand side. This is going to be a 2v2. It looks like pressure onto Confrey, going to miss because of an aggressive Habal ultimate Nemesis coming back in, but Confrey absolutely destroyed. Divine Judgment not going to do enough as Replicas tries to dive the tower, but he's not going to be able to get it. And that's just more kills going to the Potato Boys. A missed turnaround potential as there was actually an ult forward from Confrey, putting him in a horrible position while avoiding the Thor ultimate. And what does Confrey do?
Honestly, you know what I really want to see here, Craig? I want to see
You're going to say lane
switch
swap.
lanes with Ataraxia.
Yeah, I think that would be plausible.
I think that it's the way to go. Proxy is off to an exuberant start, already level 8, and nobody's really going to be able to match that. Ataraxia has his golden bow finished. Habois can be safer in the long lane, can be supported in the long lane. Made You Look can clear from a distance, unlike Habois, who has to get up close and personal. Lane swapping is something that we just don't see enough of, Kret, whether it's aggressive or defensive, and I think this is a perfect opportunity for Confrey to go ahead and switch with his Hunter. Not what we're going to see, so if Confrey wants to stay in this lane, honestly, needs to start maxing up his water spout, because that's how he has to start farming if he wants to play it safe.
Actually, there's another option that I'll get to, but the one counterpoint is that Ataraxia is about half a level behind, and if he goes in the solo lane, he'll be more than a level behind. Whereas in the duo lane,
Confrey getting jumped one more time, ringed up, and Proxy. That's going to be his third kill of the match, all on Confrey.
So the reason they're not lane swapping is they don't want to give up their even duo lane for like more even overall. Kanye is getting burned on, and he's going to go down. Now Ataraxia getting turned on with that Valkyrie's Discretion. Arrow rotates over just for safety. If Ataraxia lane swaps with Confrey, they will have two losing lanes because Ataraxia is still behind Proxy. Proxy is ahead, and Confrey will be behind Suntouch. That, I think, is the limiting factor here.
Yeah, it's just a matter of mitigating the wounds that have already been there. Proxy is ahead. That's not going to change. With a lane
It's more
swap, I
about
think they
who
could
can
save
do
the
better.
tower here. I think it's about. I think it's about keeping this tower alive, which honestly is something that Potato Boys might even be thinking about doing, keeping it alive intentionally.
They should,
because Confrey is able to push up this far, and Proxy will just keep killing him.
Here's the thing,
If they kill
though.
the tower, you have to play a little bit safer.
The way minion tags work is if you apply an effect to a minion, you have 10 seconds. And if it dies within those 10 seconds, you get experience in gold. Not many people know this, so I'm giving all of you a nice little tip for when you're in a situation. Any slow effect counts as an effect. So Confrey using Water Spout on the minions, it has to be his Atlas of Yellow River. If he just drops that and touches the melee creeps, he gets experience for the wave without doing anything, and it is the single safest thing he can do. Habwa should not be getting zoned.
Kanye goes ahead and gets a kill in the left-hand lane. That's going to be an important one. Suntouch suffering his first death. Not exactly super far ahead, level 9 to level 9, but about half a level. Adapting, trying to make Pretty Prime do something here, but the ultimate is coming out and it's going to miss Adapting. Interesting blind play right there, and Arrow's just going to take him down. Replica's forced away, and Potato Boys looking very strong. The number 2 seed haven't won at all in the finals. Maybe taken 2 games overall, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And this time around proving to be quite the opposite.
I think they have taken 2 games overall. Potato Boys need to go to the gold tree. Like, they need to look for an opportunity to turn this experience lead into a lot more of a gold lead. Thor is up over the soul lane again. This time going to come down onto Repicas. Just absolutely destroying him. Adapting. This Thor needs to be banned out.
Thor needs to be
The bans have to be Thor Baka, honestly. Or they need to pick Baka. I don't know if it's in Confrey's God pool, but Baka is too good in the solo lane. He's just too good right now.
Can play Hun Bats?
Yeah. Maybe you should play Bats.
For those of you that were watching the broadcast last week, Agilitas accidentally picked Hun Bats for the soul lane. Confrey, much more of a mage player, definitely not really an assassin player, and weren't allowed to remake for couldn't get a remake. They took too long to remake, so forced to play Hun Bats. Wound up doing spectacular.
Yeah, he killed it. He can play Hun Bats really well.
So maybe that's what we need to see out of Confrey. Just accidentally pick Bakasura, and maybe he'll just farm the opponent. Baka right now jumping on Confrey. Ultimate comes out, but a good response ultimate from Habwa is going to make sure he's safe. And we see a 2-man rotation over here in the solo lane. This tower is going down momentarily, Cret.
Yeah, it's going to go down soon. Proxy uses his ultimate there, which honestly I think it was a mistake. The ultimate will not stop Habwa's crushing wave. No ultimate is stopped by cripple. You can always ult out of cripples regardless of whatever your ultimate does. So I think Proxy would have actually been better off using his ultimate and the minions to take down the tower and just all in it. I mean, with that Habwa ultimate down, drop your ult, minions take the tower.
Makes sense.
That's what Potato Boys want to do, they might want to keep this tower up because it keeps Confrey further forward in the lane, and they're just trying to shut him down.
Yeah, I mean, when the enemy plays a Habwa, that's definitely one of the first things on your thought process, and Potato Boy is doing a great job with that. 8 kills to 1, 4 of those kills on the Habwa. Left side, Potato Boy is getting very aggressive, chasing Kanye into his own jungle. Forced to blink away is the Ares, so he's going to find himself a little deeper than he even thought. And with that blink down, Potato Boys might be able to just take the Gold Fury, but so much respect for their opponent, not ready to just take it now.
They have 3,000 gold and 6,000 experience, which at the 10-minute mark is a little bit more than it seems. Potato Boys have a strong team fight and overall team advantage in this game. What they should be looking for is hitting a timing and then going for an objective. That's going to be a blink in and a cage onto Ataraxia. Will find the bird bomb. And it's not going to be a dead Mercury. Thor comes in, though, and Kanye will die for his hunter's... Well, not really a hunter, but for his partner's sins. Taken down by Suntouch. Arrow in the jungle. And... it can just do Gold Fury now. They have a circle of protection. They have a Handle Gods 3. Proxy gets a solo kill, unsurprisingly, at this point. Georgius needs to not die, but with circle protection and a Hog 3, this should be no problem.
Tower will go down in the solo lane. That'll be the first tower of the game at the 11-minute and 20-second mark. 10-1 are the kills, and the gold reads 5,300 on the dot for the lead of the Potato Boys. Experience also very big lead, about 8,000 plus, and Confrey suffering his 5th death. You know, this is... Confrey is one of the players that we speak about a lot positively for Agilitas, and just... Proxy's very good, and I think this matchup is one of the worst matchups for a Hebo to really deal with at all.
That said, as I mentioned earlier, Hubwa should never be zoned. Well, not never, but like, Confrey didn't play passively properly early and off and on. Because honestly, with Hubwa, you just have to go even. You don't need to get ahead. You don't even need to get last hits.
Yeah.
Like, if you're just tagging the creeps, just getting that experience, that's good enough. Because you're a carry. Like, you're a hyper carry. He is incredible damage, and it's all about getting there. So use that water carpet, tag the creeps, and stay alive, stay safe. You can lose some creeps to tower. It's not that big of a deal.
Agilitas trying to provide some defense in the middle lane. Right mid camp's going to Potato Boys.
Proxy's starting to roam a little bit. He's going to be going into Urchin or Magi's. I like both pickups. Could be a Spirit Rope, because Proxy's a little strange sometimes. I love Spirit Rope. And actually, I would love Spirit Rope on this team comp for Potato Boys. They're up against a decent amount of CC, and it stacks with the Circle Protection, but it's not going to happen. Mid tower is going to go down, and Potato Boys are transitioning from kills to gold to towers. That's going to be a nice ult, and Durgius is absolutely destroyed. Yeah, it's the downside of support Odin. Left-hand side, adapting, is going to be taking a lot of damage here. Will be able to get out. Nice crush attempt, but here comes Proxy, dropping damage from Pretty Prime. The cripple not quite in the best position, and it looks like Agilitas will be able to disengage. I want to say they won the fight after... Yeah, I want to say they won that fight. There's just no real objectives for them to go for.
Yeah, nothing really to take credit. So they're just going to go ahead and push down this middle lane, which is a win for Agilitas. They're not going to get the tower, forced off by Proxy, who's already level 15.
Yeah, totally. So, what do you think? When is the point? And this is not single game strategy. This is best of 3 strategy. When is the point where you throw in the towel, say, all right, we're going to do better in game 2?
10K, depending on the situation.
All right.
With a best of 3 scenario, I think at 6K, especially when you're a team as practiced as Agilitas, you still hang in there. You can win fights like they just did. They got a single kill onto the Odin, it allowed them to push up, no real objectives on the board. That sort of serendipity going the way of Potato Boys. Once you reach that 10,000 gold mark, winning fights becomes mathematically difficult. If you are 10K down after a Fire Giant fight, or a haphazard Gold Fury engagement, or a big siege on a lane, I think that's when you start looking towards game 2 and just sort of going towards the next game. But 6K in, 7K in, I don't think that this is something that you completely call it quits on. As the towers come down more and more, the situation looks more and more bleak. Hubwa is a big deal. I think that and so what we just talked about was the mathematical standpoint. I think you got to talk to Confrey here. If I'm the coach or the captain of this team, I think I got to just keep a finger on the pulse of Confrey's mental state. Right now, Replica's actually going to take very physical damage. Durgius with the kill onto the enemy jungler. But yeah, I mean, you got to keep a pulse on Confrey's mental state. You can't have him get too dejected from what is feeding. So if he winds up sliding, call it quits and move on to the next game. If he can stand still, maybe you try to tough it out. Because late game Hubwa is late game Hubwa.
I mean, the other thing we haven't mentioned is Agilitas does have better late game, right? Like, Baka and Freya are great, but Odin falls off a little bit, Thor falls off a little bit, more transitions into setup. Oh, hold on, engagement onto Scylla as Prime gets low. Valkyrie's discretion is gonna find the rage, and now Confrey, ults into a wall. That might be the kind of thing to put him on tilt, which would be bad news. Potentially a Fire Giant. No, Circle Protection's down, so still possible to be Fire Giant, but a little risky, and it looks like Gold Tree will be the cult instead. The thing is, the late game for Agilitas is better. and Potato Boys are supposed to get ahead in the early game if this match goes even, right? But not this much. So Potato Boys have done a good job of establishing the early lead that they are obligated to get and able to get with their composition, and then pushing it a little bit too far for Agilitas to deal with. Now with that gold fury and that last team fight, 9,000 gold, 11,000 experience, and we are rapidly approaching that mark 10k, where it really is time to consider maintaining your mental state, letting it go, because you have to get right into game 2 as well.
Exactly. This is a best of 3 Agilitas, as you said, trying to make it out. And right now, they're going to really just try their best to get back into the game, because they might be out of the game.
Yeah, but we actually had... Moji, are you still in the match? Okay, well, both F-Dot and I have crashed out of the match. I've confirmed with Ataraxia that they will surrender in short order, so that's going to be coming up soon, and it looks like they will be handing in the towel. And just trying to preserve their mental state. So they're looking to go into game 2 strong, F-Dot.
Yep, definitely looking to go into game 2 strong. We're going to take a look at that in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. We'll get the next game for you very soon.